Shabbat Shalom. This week's Parashat Haazinu, is the song that Moses teaches to the Jewish people before he takes leave. The way that the song is structured in the Torah is also unique. It forms two columns, almost two witnesses that bear testimony to the Jewish people. Moses teaches the Jewish people, I wish you to learn the song, says God to Moses, V'lamda b'nei Yisrael, teach it to the Jewish people, that the words of Haazinu should be part of the Jewish conscience forever. In this beautiful poem and song, we find the following words. Zachor yemot olam, remember the days of yore. Binu shnot dor vador, understand each and every generation. Shal avicha v'yegedcha, ask your father and he will tell you. Zekenecha v'yomru lach, your elders, and they will inform you. The Torah is teaching us one of the most important principles of Jewish practice, and that is the concept known as Masorah, of a transmission of tradition. Why do we know what to do? It is based on the transmission that we have received from previous generations. When the Torah says to us, take v'lakachtem lachem pri eitz hadar, take for yourself the fruit of the tree, the hadar tree. What is the hadar tree? Well, everyone will tell you it is an etrog. When it says ukshatam la'ot el yadecha va'yu lo totafot bein einecha, tie these words onto your arm and let them be frontlets between your eyes, totafot between your eyes. What are we talking about? We are talking, of course, of tefillin. How do we know what they look like? Well, that is part of the Masorah, the tradition. When it tells us in the Torah that there's a mitzvah known as techelet, that you shall place a blue string on the corner of one of your garments, what exactly was the blue string made out of? This has been a debate and a discussion down to this very day. Unfortunately, we lost the tradition, the Masorah of how to make techelet. In the 19th century, Rav Gershon Leiner, the Radzina Rabbi, offered a solution and a suggestion. Amongst the rabbis, there were those who rejected it for one simple reason. Even if scientifically the Rebbe was correct, we had lost the transmission of what techelet had looked like, and therefore they wouldn't wear it. Thus, there's the importance of an appreciation that we need to look to our elders to understand who we are and how to practice our religion. This is part of being part of the Jewish community and the Jewish people. Zachor yemot olam, says the text. Remember the days of year. Binu shnot, understand the shnot, the years of each generation. Within this verse is a very powerful message. The word for a year, shana, comes from also the word leshanot, means changes. That every single year, there's going to be a change. Each generation, there's going to be changes. And what worked for one generation is not going to be effective for another generation. That which connected one generation of Jews might not necessarily be the one that connects the next generation. And thus, binu shnot dor vador, understand the changes of the generations, be able to learn and use the values and skill and what we technology of today enable you to reach out and to connect to the generation. Ask your father and he will tell you. Consult with the scholars and the elders, and they will tell you. They will tell you what worked in their generation. They will tell you how to perform the mitzvot. They will tell you that when we had this problem, this is how we dealt with it. I just read recently that during the 1820 cholera pandemic in Europe, the great sage Rabbi Akiva Eiger wrote a list of how to deal as a community with the challenges of that time. He speaks about social distancing, of wearing masks, of having shorter prayer services. Exactly what we are doing today. When people ask, how do we respond to Corona? The sages were able to look back, consult with the elders of years gone by, see how they dealt with their challenges, and then offered solutions for us today. This is what the Torah is teaching us. Zekenecha v'yomrulach. Speak to and consult with the elders, for they have wisdom and they're able to advise us. But there is a tension within this process, because there are going to be challenges that they did not have to face. And many times when I would speak to my rabbis in Israel, they would say to me, go consult the local rabbi. And I say to them, but why? They said, because they have their feet on the ground. They understand what is the nuance of your particular town and in your particular community. It is important to be able to talk and to discuss and to relate. Sha'al avicha, ask your father, see what advice they can give. So kenecha, and they will instruct you. Of course, things are changing. Each year, Shana, means it's a new year, means a new change, new challenges, new ways to approach the situations. Certainly, and this is where the biggest challenge lies. There's what we can learn from our elders that we can apply to our world. And then another important point is that we can look at the way that previous generations approached a problem, and we can learn from them. The Torah tells us that it took Joshua 14 years to conquer the land of Israel and to settle it. When the state of Israel was declared, David Ben-Gurion was able to, and the early leaders of the state of Israel were able to settle the people far more quicker. And they asked Ben-Gurion, what was your secret? Where did you go to? Where did you search for advice? He said very simply, I read the book of Joshua, and I looked how he did the battle, and how he settled the people in the land, and I learned from them, from their mistakes, from what took them so long, and how to improve on it. We never turn our back on the wisdom of previous generations. We take what they have to say, we use it in order to answer the questions of modernity. We are blessed to have before us the entire gamut of human knowledge. We can access it. And there's two things we can do. Number one, there might be advice there. That's all. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The answers and the processes are already there clear for us. Number two, we can look at it and see what they did right and where they went wrong and improve on it. And that's the Torah is telling us. Remember, learn your history. Learn about what went on before. Understand that there are going to be nuances. What worked in one generation is not going to be exactly the same for your generation. But take that collective wisdom and be able to distill the messages and be able to apply them. What an powerful lesson for this week's parasha, and what an amazing message as we start a new Jewish year. Shabbat Shalom.